everybody. Welcome to another episode of Geek 360. I am your host, Tommy Bechtold. And with me to my left is not Chris Gore. It is, in fact, a man we have hired to help us find the Mercurial Gore hidden somewhere in the Floridian system. We had so much fun with him last week, we said, why not have him back? Red Leader Brian Conowall. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tublé Khan.
Thank you, Brengis Khan, indeed.
Yes.
Now, Brian, we had you as a panelist last week, as a guest. You've now stepped into the co-host chair. Do you feel a certain amount of pressure now that we're welcoming you into such a high-stakes position?
I feel no additional pressure. I think I'm right where I need to be.
Great.
In the hot seat here with you, co-hosting, while we search for Mr. Gore.
Indeed. Hopefully more on that soon. But until then, let's keep things a little chipper. We've got two amazing guests with us first. First up, you may recognize this man's voice from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. You certainly recognize his face from Conan and How I Met Your Mother. Please give it up for the very funny comedian, Philip Wilburn.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Philip,
good to be here.
We're so glad to have you. We're very excited. And second, speaking of excited, a good friend of mine, a very funny comedian, her web series Red Baroness will be premiering on geeknation.com. She's also producing Univision's first ever comedic web series. That's no joke. I appeared in it, so you know it's a legit project. Give it up for Andy Bull.
Yeah.
Yes.
Andy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And Andy is also producing an incredible film that we will talk about later. I don't want to forget that, but I also don't want to spoil it. So you're going to have to stick around. Brian, any closing thoughts?
Yes, I do have a closing thought.
Yeah.
I want to thank Geek 360 for being so redheaded friendly.
Yeah.
We are.
This is nice. I'm among my people here.
I don't think I've ever been on television or the internet with another redhead.
Right? Geeks and redheads. This is awesome.
I also want to say that the light reflecting from all four of our skins is currently powering a windmill that is powering a small village.
Exactly.
So
This is the
Human
palest
downforce.
TV show ever.
for anyone on the internet criticizing my personality and generosity as a host, just know that my translucent skin is doing its part.
It's translucent.
My translucent skin.
Translucent.
Okay,
All right,
3 hours
kids.
later.
All right, kids, let's get the show started,
Great.
shall we?
Yes.
All right. First segment we're going to do tonight is the Rumor Mill. Hey, are you making fun of me?
I'm not a camera. Don't look down my pipe. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
The rumor mill.
The Rumor Mill. Potential spoiler alert here, guys. Okay. Mr. Dave Gonzalez of the Latino Review is reporting that a deal between Sony and Marvel would allow for Spider-Man to appear in Avengers Infinity War Part 1. So what do you guys think about Spidey making it into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the MCU, as we like to call it here at Geek 360?
I love crossovers. They're great. Why not? Why not be sitting there watching the show and then all of a sudden there's Spidey swinging down saying, hey. Maybe it's just like a Love Boat. He comes by, he says hi, and he leaves.
You know, I think I kind of have a problem with it because in the last Spider-Man, there was a lot of him swinging, going, woohoo, all right, yahoo, whoop, whoop, you did boo, whoop, boo, whoop, whoop, whoop. He's like pulling people over. I just feel like it would be a ton of, I feel like it would be inappropriate if Iron Man wasn't constantly reacting to that. Sure. You know?
Right.
So I feel like if we're just going to have a bunch of snarky back and forth between Spidey and Iron Man,
Yeah.
you know, don't put those two in a room together.
Right, it becomes it becomes a bit of a comedy, certainly. Now, the thing about it is, I mean, for me, I look at it from the business side, I do enjoy an open dialogue between Sony and Marvel Studios, obviously Disney as their parent company, about lending these characters, because it hopefully maybe opens the door for Fox and Marvel to have similar discussions. Also, from what we don't know a lot about the plot lines of these movies, but a reason I could see a potential necessity for Spider-Man to be in this movie is, as of right now, I believe the plan for Infinity Wars Part 1 is to have none of the original Avengers in the movie. So that would leave characters like Ant-Man, any of the Guardians of the Galaxy, any new characters we're going to meet in the movies that come out. This movie's not slated to come out until 2018, so we're going to have 4 or 5 other Marvel movies out before then. So there may need to be a replacement character for the Tony Stark kind of witty banter guy, and a Spider-Man that probably won't be Andrew Garfield because it's such a long wait between movies.
I just wanted to ask you about that. It will not be him, right? So they're going to cast someone.
Well, I would assume that Marvel Studios is going to want to cast their own actor. I mean, it's almost kind of like a posturing move. I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed Andrew Garfield. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I was certainly out there watching the show, but I enjoyed Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I thought he was like kind of more loyal to the teenager. Tobey Maguire just always felt like a 30-year-old Peter Parker to me. I mean, he was great, but I liked that Andrew Garfield was kind of a kid, you know?
Yeah, I agree. He was a more, for the ladies, enjoyable Spider-Man
Sure.
than the
That's
Tobey.
ultimately what's most important.
Ultimately, he didn't dance on any bars, so I don't hate him.
Yeah, the dance bar scene was pretty bad.
When you close your eyes and imagine Spider-Man as your lover, do you picture Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield?
Tweet at me.
Here's a hint. Here's a hint. It ain't Tobey Maguire. Hint water. The official water of Andrew Garfield. Now I'm sorry, I'm starting to get a little disturbance of the force in my head.
My scanners are not showing anything.
I believe, using my Jedi powers, we may have Chris Gore through some futuristic technology known as Skype. Skype, am I saying it right? Skype.
It's Swedish.
Do we have Mr. Gore? Do we have Chris Gore? Is there the possibility of Chris Gore? We do not have Chris Gore.
Not have Chris Gore.
The force
standing
is not
by.
strong with this one.
Here's the thing about being a Padawan. You're never guaranteed to be a professional Jedi, right? Like, I've been fighting that laser ball for years.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I haven't mastered any of it.
You need the visor up just to use it.
You know what? The last thing I lifted was a takeout box, and inside was Chinese, and I've moved it with my mind last night. It was delicious. I need to force the issue a little more, and maybe just use a hint of moderation in my comments. Hint water. The official water of awkward segues into segments that are technically being difficult.
Take a hint.
And I believe we may have Mr. Gore now. I'm sensing.
Oh, yes.
There he is.
Is that Chris Gore?
Do we look here?
How's it going?
Chris, how are you?
Oh, beat, man.
You're lost. You're beat. You're lost somewhere in the Floridian system.
Oh, my God. They have television here. It's awful.
They have TV.
Yeah.
That does
Yeah.
sounds terrible. Now, what? You're exhausted from a hard day of something we cannot talk about. But what I would like to know is, are you eating well?
Oh, I'm fine.
You're
Can't
well
you tell?
fed.
Yeah.
You're not-
Chris has been dispatched on a secret mission. Is that right, to Florida?
Yes.
He's not allowed to tell us anything about it.
But we're very excited. Now, Chris, have you visited any of the hives of scum and villainy while you've been in Florida? You know, they are known for they are the gentleman's club capital of the world. Have you frequented any fun bars while you've been down there?
Oh, that's my next plan.
Okay, great.
I will do. Yeah.
Well, Chris, I have to be honest. I'm worried about you. I want you to come back into my warm embrace. And I hope, upon all hopes, that wherever you are, there's always a hint water waiting for you. Hint water. Can you be more refreshed?
Save me some hint.
I will. I'll save some hint. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad you're safe. We love you.
Chris Gore, everybody.
Swap him out.
Whew.
Swap him out.
God, that's tough.
Hey, was that your Chandler Bing plug? Like
That
your
was-
Chandler Bing? Could you be any more refreshing?
I did a little Chandler Bing there.
That
Friends, available on Netflix.
That should go on your character reel.
I will plug anything. I will plug in. If you have electronics you want me to plug in, I am a plug machine. God, that could be taken the wrong way.
Whoa.
Why don't we just move on to our next
right.
segment, a little something we like to call the casting couch.
Casting couch, that's what it's called.
Ooh, look at
Thank
that
you,
fun
Philip.
graphic that I created. All right, now it would appear as though X-Men Apocalypse is going to cast younger versions of Jean Grey, Scott Summers, and Storm, which are currently played in their older versions, not old, older, by Famke Janssen, James Marsden, and Halle Berry. Now let's do a little fantasy casting here. What actors and actresses would you like to see take on the younger versions of these iconic Marvel superheroes?
I'm forgetting her name now, but I feel like her name's like Mace or something. She's in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, Maisie Williams.
Maisie Williams.
Maisie
She'd be a
Williams.
good.
She plays Arya Stark.
Yeah, she'd be a good like Jean Grey, maybe.
Yeah,
Right?
Sure.
Come on, guys.
That's
Kinda
a good
nailed
one.
that
That's a good one.
right?
I like that.
I was thinking Zac Efron, maybe,
Zac
because they
Efron.
look so much alike. That's one of my big issues with the new casting is I don't think they quite match up with the old casting. I know they're a comic book, and that's
Right.
first, but, you know, I have issues with, you know, I'm still upset that Chris Pine is Captain Kirk. So, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm getting over it.
Right. You're moving. I mean,
Should get over
it is
it.
difficult. I mean, certainly in the X-Men franchise, you have Charles Xavier played by James McAvoy with a full head of hair, and then you just know at some point
It all falls
it
out.
all falls out and he becomes Sir Patrick Stewart.
That should be its own movie. Just like that period of time. in his life.
It's an origin story of his bald head.
It's a very sad.
Yeah.
Magneto, I'm having some issues.
That would be. And then he goes with tries Rogaine, and you know
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
It only
work.
works on the side slightly.
Rogaine, could you be any more hair?
Guys, only I do the plugs. Brian.
I would, I was looking on the interwebs
I've heard of
because
it.
I'm
Good.
not as familiar with some of the more youthful actors, but I like this guy Ben Hardy they're suggesting as a young Cyclops.
Could you give us some background of it, Hardy?
No, I
What you
can't,
been in?
Andy. No, I can't, Andy. Not at all.
Just a headline guy?
I could use a cheat sheet, but I don't have one.
Okay. So you're basically going with what they've already the rumored casting.
Yeah, I'm going with
And-
what
and-
the Latino Review told me.
Okay.
You also told me about Haley Steinfeld,
Yes.
I do
who was
know.
in True Grit.
True Grit. She's fantastic.
She'd be going for Jean Grey. So here's how I feel about it.
All right, let's hear it,
This is my
Tommy.
take. This is where you stunt cast the hell out of this movie. These parts, X-Men, Apocalypse, there's going to be 500 characters in this movie. Everybody's going to have to shoot for like half a day. So let's get Zac Efron as Scott Summers. You know, as for Jean Grey, I say Jennifer Lawrence pulls double duty. She puts on a wig. She plays Jean Grey too. Who else is famous? What's another? Who are
else
the
is
kids
famous?
like? What? Ariana Grande? Guess what? Ariana Grey Day, because you're playing Jean Grey. You're in. Storm. Who else do we have? Well, we already used Zoe Kravitz. She played that bug character in the first X-Men, and then they showed her dead, so we can't use her. So now I'm at an impasse, and I believe we did have. You know what? We didn't. We found someone. Keisha Knight Pullum from the Cosby Show.
We can have her. She
What a
just got
comeback.
fired off The Apprentice last week. She's available.
And you know what? A lot of controversy around the Cosby Show. You know what's not controversial? X-Men. Everybody loves that shit. Okay? So I say you stunt cast it, and you just watch the money roll in, baby. Just like Hint Water. These people mint money. All right.
Mint money?
They mint money.
Oh, okay.
Have you had mint
Gotcha.
money, Hint?
Mint money.
It's the best flavor.
Hint, mint. Everybody settle down. We're going to take a quick break with this message from theStream.tv.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like Hurricane Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone,
Hold on.
bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell them go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
And we back. And we are excited to be back. And we're going to do a little shouting out right now. We got one active member in the chat. I want to shout out Faquad, back second week in a row. Maybe our most loyal viewer. Faquad, we
Faquad.
feel you. We feel you. You know who else I'm going to shout out? Because I know she's watching. I'm going to shout out my mom. I'm sure she hasn't figured out the chat function yet, otherwise she'd be typing away about how adorable her son is. How her son should talk to that nice lady across the table. I won't even make eye contact. I'm so nervous right now. I'm just going to plug along into the next segment, which I believe Brian will lead.
Yes, the next segment. We've got Oscar nominations came out today, folks. Did any of you have the... were you guys up early? Did you
I was
see
up
them?
at 5 watching because I love the Oscars. I'm all about it.
Very nice.
Were you live tweeting it?
I was, so live tweeting it.
Well,
By
as you can
snoozing.
imagine, you would not be surprised that movies in the comic book category took a hit again. We do not have a lot of nominations. Do you think any of this year's superhero movies deserves consideration for the big awards?
What were the top ones nominated?
Captain America. Well, I have a
What were
list
the-
right in
Philip's got
front
a
of me.
list
What were the top 5?
So here are the ones that actually won, or not
Got
won, but were nominated. American Sniper, Boyhood, Birdman.
Birdman
That's
is
kind of
almost like a superhero
superhero-y.
movie.
It's kind of the
Kind of
anti-superhero movie. Grand Budapest Hotel, wasn't that superhero-y? Weren't they a band of hotel guys that flew?
There was nothing superhero about that movie.
Not
but
at all.
Okay, you know what?
The Imitation Game.
If you're not going to read
Selma,
the emails before you come and do this show, then...
The Theory of Everything and Whiplash. Those were the ones that were nominated.
I do think that there should have been a slot open where the Grand Budapest Hotel was, because it's like, why? I mean, I watched it and I forgot about it immediately because I like Wes Anderson, but it's like, hey, way to do that same thing you've been doing for the last 15 years.
It's
That's a great slot that could have been open for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
It's a little precious, and here's my problem. So you have Captain America, the Winter Soldier, you have Guardians of the Galaxy, you have X-Men, Days of Future Past. These are 3 of the highest grossing movies, not only of the summer, but also of all time.
Everybody loves them. Everybody's going to these movies.
These are the movies that even globally, these are the movies people are going to see, yet where are they when the awards come out? They're nominated in categories like Best Visual Effects, Best, I believe Guardians of the Galaxy maybe has a costume or makeup, which they're well deserving of. But my thing is like, are the performances, are they disqualified the second they come out in theaters because their budget is so high? Like, I mean, this is maybe a hyperbole, but like Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, maybe the favorite performance of the majority of people who went to see movies of the summer. So we don't even consider him as a best actor because is it because it's so over the top and we're in such a fantastical world? Like, I don't know. I guess for
I don't know. I always like to think about when Whoopi won for Ghost, because she was like great in, I mean, that was supporting actor, but like she was funny in that thing and she was really great. And that like you don't really see anymore. You don't really see these people that are like really strong characters kind of, you know, now you just brought up Star-Lord, which was the lead, and I agree with that. But it is interesting how, you know, it's just kind of, it's kind of like this is going to sound terrible and I'm never going to get nominated, so maybe I won't say it. But I do feel like it's a little, like Birdman I watched, the performances were excellent. Should that be nominated for Best Picture? No way!
Right.
No way! Best Cinematic Achievement across the board. Like, Best Picture, you got to be everything. Performances, yes, but like the rest...
Well, and I know Oscar is crossing over, because if you look at Captain America, Oscar winner Robert Redford was such a bad guy, and a great role for him in that movie to have somebody of that stature in a movie like that.
So they're able to pull Academy Award winners in to be in the movies. They just maybe never will win the Academy Awards we want to see them win. We got to move on next to our next segment. As I promised before, Andy Bolt is currently producing an incredible documentary called Wow Mom.
Yes.
And we have right now a video that Andy produced that was originally part of the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, we cut this together because we're still cutting the whole feature together. But we cut this together. We did a big comedy cancer benefit, and we showed this there, and then we used it for our Kickstarter campaign.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look at that now.
Ooh, there's my crotch for a movie. Because I look like a munchkin. I look giant. It's the only place I can set the camera.
I'm comedian Andy Bolt.
Keep falling off this bed.
And this is my mom, Terry. In 2010, my mom was diagnosed with neuroendocrine tumors, the same cancer that killed Steve Jobs.
I had my whole family sitting there, and he made it pretty plain that I was totally full of fast-growing cancer that I'd had for about 6 months, and he gave the impression that this was it.
But luckily that doctor was wrong. My mom went to Cedars-Sinai, where this amazing man, Dr. Wolin, removed 15 pounds of tumors. Now, we just had to wait. After losing her husband, my Aunt Teddy started playing World of Warcraft. She introduced my mom to the game.
I swear there's no telling what I would be doing if I hadn't started playing. The first time I saw the game on the computer screen, I just went crazy. I couldn't believe that world, that fantastical world that was there that I could be a part of. It's a lot of fun. It keeps your brain moving, keeps your brain thinking, and maybe a little bit younger than it would be if you didn't have it.
There's a number of chemicals in our body that act as natural stress relievers that are under this broader category of entertainment. When you interact with other humans or even animals socially, you get a release of oxytocin. It's tied to our immune system, it's tied to healing, it's tied to mental health.
You make new friends, and it's fun to talk to them, and you can be whatever you want to be. You can laugh and joke and have a good time. We're going to BlizzCon.
Don't we look great? My mom still has 27 tumors left in her liver, but hey, she's got 16 tunes, 3 level 90s.
People's lives can be improved by gaming, and people's lives, although negatively impacted, are not necessarily ended or ruined by these terminal illnesses. Yes, their lives will be shortened, but they might have a very high quality of life right up to the end.
My father's 3 years remission. World of Warcraft was where I could go when I didn't have to, worry about him.
It's a loving environment, and I love this community.
When I was a kid, if I had told my parents, like, no, all these video games actually can be, they can actually have a real use in the world and community, and my parents would have been like, shut up, here's some more quarters. But as gaming has evolved, we too have evolved, and now it really is a global community that has the power to heal.
I can tell people in the game things that I can't tell anyone else in the family. My family will worry. It's easier to talk to people that are far away.
That was great. That was really terrific. Andy, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was
well done, Bolt.
What an awesome project, and how cool that you got to, go through this, awful experience, but you got to kind of take a positive out of it. From what we saw there. Can you give us any kind of update on where you are with the film right now?
Yeah, so we just completed our Kickstarter right before the holidays, so now we're headed into post, and I was like up till 1 a.m. last night with my editor, and we're just going through all the footage and picking up some interviews that we missed, and just in that cutting process, which is hard.
Great.
But good.
And now if anyone who's watching or anyone who does watch wants to help or spread the word, is there a certain site or Twitter they can go at?
Yeah, we're on Twitter at WowMomTheMovie, and our website is wowmomthemovie.com, and we're working with Jinx, who makes these awesome shirts, and they helped us with our campaign, and so we're gonna have t-shirts, like if you want to support the movie, you can buy a t-shirt, or you can donate, because we're still far from having enough money to really complete it and go to festivals, and
sure.
We wanna be nominated next year. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah,
You should be.
Well, maybe instead of supporting your friend's weird vampire web series, you could throw a few bucks at Andy's incredible film. Andy, thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Thanks
joining
for having
us.
me.
Philip, we did not get a chance to talk about the amazing sketch show that you do every Sunday night at iOS. You want to plug that real quick?
Yeah, I do a show called Top Story Weekly at the iOS in Hollywood. It's Sunday nights at 8. It's like a brand new show every week based on the news. Hard News Meets Hollywood, Top Story Weekly.
Great show. Brian, thank you so much
I
for being
appreciate
my
it.
co-pilot tonight. You helped soothe the aching wounds that were left by Chris Gore's departure. And you added just a hint of comedy.
Oh boy.
Hint water.
Just a hint.
I may drown in a bathtub of hint water someday. All right, guys. You know what? That was a lot of fun. I want to thank Andy Bolt. I want to thank Philip Wilburn. I want to thank Chris Gore, lost in the Floridian system somewhere. I want to thank Red Leader Brian Conowall. And I want to thank, most importantly, all of you for watching. Follow us at Geek360 Show, and we will see you next week. Take care.